All right, at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. First item is Pledge of Allegiance. Will everyone please stand? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is Miss Lawrence over here? I'll read the mission statement. Union County Public Schools creates an inspirational learning environment and empowers our students to reach their maximum potential in an ever-changing world. Okay, next item is Superintendent's Report. Dr. Hank.
This report's a little fancier than what I normally pass out to you. But if it's all right, I am going to present from a seat instead of up at the podium.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So this is my capstone presentation. And while it just has my name on the front, please know this is a direct reflection of the team that I have at Union County Public Schools. It is quite the team. First, I'd like to start with some appreciation for some of the supports I've had throughout the year. First, to my ILP team, Mr. Matt Madding, he's the superintendent in Graves County. He's here with us. As well as Dr. Fred Carter is our executive coach and mentor. If I'm not mistaken, he's now mentored every superintendent in the state?
Yeah.
Every superintendent in the state. That's crazy.
That's an impressive stat there.
Yeah, it is. And I'm also one of the last few, I assume, ILP meetings, capstone projects that he's going to be attending because he is retiring. Which is really sad. No. I hate that for future new superintendents. I just know how much I've learned and the ideas I've been able to generate from having conversations with you. And then, of course, Donnie was also on the ILP team. Other supports from KASA, we had Nanette Johnston, Dr. Jan Lance, Wayne Young is their legal counsel, so I would normally call Wayne Young first, figure out what kind of questions I may need to ask if we were needing to contact our board attorney. Matt Robbins is the finance advisor, and then Dr. Rhonda Caldwell is the executive director. Here locally, I'm very thankful for each of you for your support this year, Lauren included, as well as the administrators that work here with me in the office, the staff, teachers, our community, and even our students. I feel like there are so many people that influence this year. And then, personally, it's been a little crazy year. Did a couple exciting things, like have a baby in the middle. But there's no way that I could do all the things that I do without Todd and my kids and my parents. I have a big support system. I'm very, very thankful for them. But now to get into the meat of the presentation. So every educator does a yearly professional growth plan, including superintendents. We used all 7 of the standards for my professional growth plan. Some of the standards do overlap a little bit, so you'll see some of it is a little bit repetitive. But since we used all 7 in my professional growth plan, and all 7 have to be presented with the capstone, I kind of combined them together so we didn't go through them all twice. So
They'll do that for you next year.
yes.
They're actually combining into the 5 from 7. I just found that out.
So the first standard for superintendents is strategic leadership. For standard 1, it says that the superintendent creates conditions and a community of inquiry that builds on the district's core values and beliefs, focused on the future and the vision of the district. So I started out, you can see these asterisk items are things straight from my professional growth plan. So I started with meeting with Ms. Sheffer, several of you as board members, just to get a plan for the year, to learn some of the behind the scenes things. One of our first projects that we worked on as a leadership team was we started with the Portrait of a Learner, which we called Building Braves. Part of the PGP is also a 30, 60, 90-day plan. From the very beginning, we added our mission statement to our agenda, and our student board member reads that every meeting. Since our strategic plan was a little outdated, we hadn't done one in 13 years, we focused on some fundamentals, as we call them: culture, engagement, growth, and leadership. And we had district-wide initiatives for each of those. We also updated and monitored the CDIP, and we set goals for each of our central office departments. So beyond the PGP, so those were things that we planned from the very beginning that I wanted to make sure I got done. Beyond that, I spent a lot of time reviewing board minutes from previous minutes, policies and procedures. Spent a lot of time with Amy this year. We've gone through a financial audit, discussed priorities. I sent you all notes periodically of the happenings that were going on in the district, usually by text, occasionally by a phone call. I attended leadership conferences, as did several members of my team. We planned our professional development. We made a schedule to help maintenance have a plan for our facilities. We started the virtual program this year. We had our first staff attendance award. We had staff to attend and present at regional, state, and national level events. We collected data on their travel and their reflections. We expanded a teacher position to include a CTE coordinator, which will begin next year. We finalized the paperwork side of the LAVEC project, which is exciting. And this year we also started the CTE Advisory Council. Whenever I reflected on the standards and thought about what I wanted to do next, the word intentional came up a lot. I feel like we did a lot of things this year that were really good, but if we were a little bit more intentional, they could have been way better. So you'll see that word come up a lot. First step here is the certified evaluation plan. We're going to make an update to that. It's reviewed every year, but to have a committee get together to update that, it's been a few years. I'll continue to review our policies and procedures. We are finishing the strategic plan, so it'll be a 3 to 5 year plan that will include district goals and a dashboard for monitoring those goals. I met with principals this year and we discussed their goals, staffing, and finances, but I would like for it to be more intentional next year. That will also include talk of more vibrant learning experiences for our kids. The pictures was my favorite part, going through this. After putting all the work together and the list of all the things, then to sit back and look at go through the pictures and see all the people that were affected. These pictures are from a leadership training at Quell, our CTE advisory meetings. Our mission is there in the middle. A copy of our Portrait of a Learner, Building Braves, is to the left. And then that was our fundamental statement from the beginning of the year, and that was culture, engagement, growth, and leadership. All right, standard 2. That's a lot. Everybody good? Okay. So standard 2 is instructional leadership. It says that the superintendent supports and builds a system focused on teaching and learning, and it needs to be systematic. Again, we reviewed our CDIP and CSIP, as well as professional growth plans for all staff. We did surveys this year. I put on my professional growth plan it would be similar to the TEL survey, but in the end I allowed principals to make their own survey. It was focused on leading and learning, but they used their TEL results from last year to show improvements. We revamped our district walkthroughs this year. and I'll be the first to say that it wasn't as great as we hoped it would be. So you'll see also on the upcoming list in Standard 2 that we're in the process of revamping that again. I'll be the first to tell you when we do something and it doesn't work that we need to go back to the drawing board and figure out a better plan. I participated in the co-op meetings, we're a member of GREC and WKEC. I actively supported GT, specifically with acceleration and enrichment. And I have little marks by this one because it says 100% college and career readiness. We had one student who graduated this year who did not have some type of qualification for college and career readiness. So while we did not get 100%, we were as close as you could get. That's all the items for my PGP. To continue on, Amy and I met to ensure that we were focused on teaching and learning as far as the programs that we've purchased, our staffing, and our budgets. I met with Dr. Warren from HCC in regards to our college and career readiness, the type of tests they offer there at the college and what we offer here and how we can work together to make that better. We spent a lot of time in data. We produced a district-wide writing plan for the first time in several years. I wrote lots of notes to staff and students for their academic accolades. We had Marcia Tate came in. She wrote the book, Worksheets Don't Grow Dendrites. So she did an in-person training. That was our first instructional training of the year. And she continued monthly trainings after that virtually. We reviewed the master schedule with all the principals to make sure they aligned with our goals. We sent teachers to a lot of trainings, but this was the first year that we sent teachers to a CELIS training, which provided help for our virtual instruction. We prioritized professional development time in buildings instead of as a district at the request of our teachers and principals. We looked at other options for teaching certification. We prioritized $3,000 from our budget to award the Empowered Educator Fellowship. I spoke of Marcia Tate. Principals also had a similar setup. Monthly, they could meet with Todd Whitaker. He's the author of What Great Teachers Do Differently and also What Great Principals Do Differently. I empowered the RTI work group to lead our growth days, our G days. We had Leader and Me at the high school again this year. We had instructional benchmarks. We now have a better plan for 5th grade math instruction for advancements. I challenged the principals to pursue vibrant learning experiences for all students. And UCLA had a record number of 27 graduates. When Dr. Carter asked what I was most proud of this year, I said the instructional side, because for the first time in many years, we've been able to focus back on instruction, and everything is starting to align to our goals. So I'm looking forward to when we put our strategic plan together officially of how all that looks. So upcoming, since we have a literacy focus, I want to personally read to every kindergarten and preschool classroom. Again, that's just being intentional with my time. I've been in those classrooms, but if I were more intentional, then I would have planned it with the teacher and been able to provide something to them instead of just going in. There's the district walkthroughs that I spoke of. We are continually making improvements for the virtual side of UCLA. We are building on our RTI at Work Foundation, which is the big instructional foundation that we'll have. And within the strategic plan, we're going to have specific instructional goals with monitoring, with the monitoring system. Again, pictures are my favorite. This slide shows that we use data to drive our instruction. The picture in the middle is the data wall at the middle school. I don't know that any of y'all got to see that. It was pretty impressive. I also really learned, I already knew it, but it was solidified this year that our students are some of our most valuable teachers. You know, for Farm Day, for example, different groups were there to teach the younger kids. So it provided a learning opportunity for the younger kids, but also an opportunity for our older kids to be role models, to know that we have people in our community that are looking up to them. I believe that our GT is unmatched, and that is because of our great teachers. Abby is there on the left. And these pictures also remind me that learning is not always about the standards. It's about leadership opportunities, technology opportunities. And I also have a picture of Wesley there, because he may not ever learn all the standards that we're teaching him, but I don't know if you know Wesley. But you learn a lot about being a person by knowing Wesley. And if you ever talk to Wesley, he will tell you that he likes my husband way better than he likes me. You can see his shirt. He loves to mow grass, lawn mowers, and that's what Todd does, so he loves it. All right, number 3. Cultural leadership. It reminds us that culture is what leads to performance. It's working to understand the people as well as their history and traditions. I sent myself all the pictures that I wanted to put in my presentation, and then I had to take out about 70% of them because all of them fell under cultural leadership. It's definitely a strength of our district. From our opening messages on opening day to school visits and rounding, sending out a stay survey, asking people why they prefer to stay in Union County. That's coming in June, so I'm looking forward to reading all that. We always take every chance we can to celebrate staff. Beyond the professional growth plan, I try to attend all the things that I can. I am sad that I missed the play. My last opportunity was yesterday, but I missed that at the high school for the drama department. I send birthday cards and notes. I include clippings from the Sturgis News. I try to do individual meetings, and I like to talk to people face to face as opposed to over the phone whenever I can. I also think it's important for me as the superintendent and all of our district team to be visible at community events, and also to invite the community in, for example, at the CT advisory committees. This year we updated our happygrams after getting feedback from the staff. I wrote a note to every senior that we put in their Bibles. Mr. and Miss Davis from the high school buy Bibles for every student every year, and they give us labels to write a note inside. And this was my 4th year to write a note to every graduate. We've been featured on News 25 for our open houses at the beginning of the year. I rode an afternoon bus route on the hottest day of the year, and it was Derek John's bus. And I'm pretty sure he is never going to forget it, because when he got off, he said, "Tara, did you pee your pants?" Because it was so hot. I was sweating through my clothes. And I was sitting with a friend who liked to snuggle. I was able to drop a goodie basket off at Cairo Elementary School after they lost a student at the beginning of the school year. I was able to attend Distinguished Young Woman, which y'all know Lauren won. We have continued partnerships with School Smiles, which took me into Frisk and all the amazing work they do. They plan our Red Ribbon Week activities, and some of their activities were sponsored by the grant from Morganville and Sturgis, so I appreciate their partnerships also. We had parties for everything we could. We celebrated at the school level and here in the office as much as we could. We are continuing dance classes for our elementary school students. I made an appearance as Mrs. Claus, which was fun. I'm hoping to do some more of those with you next year, ma'am. Our students sang Christmas carols on WMSK. We delivered this year a new initiative, Heart of a Brave, along with Union County Public Schools podcast. And of course, our district Facebook and school accounts. For next year, we're already talking about how opening day is going to be a little bit different. I want to personally be more intentional with parent contacts. I'm working with Mr. Lamb and Miss Chastity Hancock to revamp our dance for elementary schools. I hope to maintain visibility, not just of myself, but also the district staff in our schools. Continue to look for ways to lift others up. And I want to do better next year about having trackable data for rounding. I have data, but I want it to be better. And these are just some of my favorites. I think in Union County we have a culture of champions, of leaders, and of family. We show up for each other, we take care of each other, we cheer for each other, and we like to have fun. And I hope that's something that we never lose here in Union County. All right, number 4. It's the human resource standard. It has a focus on retention, induction, support, evaluation, development, and I think I said retention will go on. So it started with recruitment and retention of our high-performing and diverse staff. I already spoke of the surveys that we gave, professional growth plans, certified evaluation training. We did that locally this year. In the past, we've all gotten the appropriate training, but we've never done it together. So we were having really good conversations with other folks about evaluations, but we didn't have them with each other. So we brought that back this year. We're always looking for meaningful ways to recruit staff. Specifically this year, we've had aides that have decided to go back to school to become teachers, and then educators rising at the high school. We continuously monitor new teacher programming and mentorships. We had a district professional development plan. We established mental health care within the schools for the first time. Beyond the professional growth plan, we looked at allocations, tried to provide principals with exactly what they needed. We had challenges with kindergarten this year, so we worked hard. Principals worked hard all year to ensure we didn't have that same problem for next year. We addressed a sub shortage with an unconventional sub training that paid large dividends. We properly staffed UCLA to ensure success. I called every staff member and then sent a positive email to another staff member of who they gave credit. The funny thing about this is I was coming home from Frankfurt and I had my list of all my folks I wanted to call and their phone numbers. It was about 2:30. I was on my way home. So I was like, perfect. I'll just run down my list as I'm driving. I called about, probably 10. And I left messages for all 10. And I thought, what are the chances that none of these people are available right now? And then about the 11th one I answered. And she was like, hey, I'm in new teacher training. So I should have checked my schedule before I started those calls because they were all sitting together and their phones were like ring, 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 ring. So then I stepped back, gave them a week or so and tried that again when they weren't in one of our meetings. We had several state reviews this year that were all successful, apples and food service. We phased in preschool. And we had ads recorded by students to be played during athletic events to recruit subs and bus drivers. I spoke of Todd Whitaker and Marcia Tate previously. Those are trainings provided by our co-ops. We've sent several staff to different conferences. We continued our PBIS work. We had an attendance prize for the first time for staff. I met with teachers and student groups throughout the year. We added Coach Coble and Mr. Hunter, both were added to KASA committees. We continually review our needs assessment. we believe that's a piece of retaining staff. When you have what you need, you're more likely to stay where you are. Again, Amy worked really hard with the budget to ensure we could get a staff raise this year again. Worked through some difficult situations with our board attorney, with our principals and district staff. We worked with colleges that are close by for new teachers, student teachers, and teacher apprentices. Also attended the Union County Retired Teachers meeting. They meet monthly, and now I send them my monthly board report just to help them stay connected. Something I'll intend to do next year is to meet with all the site-based councils. I talked with almost every member, but I never attended their meetings, so I think that's something that I could do to improve. And I want to be more intentional with my student groups when I meet with them. We believe that culture is a big piece of human resources. So our family-friendly style is often a selling point. Educators Rising, which is the club that trains teachers here at the high school, led by Joey Logston. It's helping us with our grow our own. For teachers, there's pictures from the state conference. So that's exciting opportunity for our kids to be in leadership. Hanging with me. Standard 5. It ensures priorities is to student learning and safety. So from my professional growth plan, I worked with Shane. Sorry about that. I worked with Shane to implement our school emergency plans. We also have monthly safety meetings. I am familiar now with the facilities plan and the needs assessment process. We have ensured that our E-rate funding is used appropriately. We've empowered the central office staff and our technology team to help streamline some of our workflows. We used a Google Calendar for employees with extended days to help summer planning. We've continued conversation with law enforcement to recruit and hire SROs and monitor procedures for our construction projects. Then beyond professional growth plan, looking at salary increases and targeted raises. So even though that's a staff issue, it directly is related to student learning. If you have proper staff, then students should certainly learn more. Same to ensure that our budget, salary schedule, and tax rates so are and safety. We took care of some HVAC issues that have been lingering for a while this year. We streamlined the personnel workflow and moved to an electronic filing system, which was helpful. When you're home on maternity leave, you can still approve people and the workload doesn't slow down and you're still in the loop. We met with everyone over this LAVEC project, and will be continuous, I guess, for another couple years. We have our monthly safety drills at school, along with the first 30-day drills. KCSS did our walkthroughs at the school. We had the 5th grade safety day. Lots of community members came in to help different aspects of safety for our 5th graders. Successful financial audit, insurance and bonding meetings. We also continued the partnership with the K-9 Drug Dog Service. Some upcoming is to minimize travel so it's focused on our goals. So just because someone is offering a training doesn't mean we should go to it necessarily. our travel paperwork is also moving to electronic filing. We are using a Google Calendar to pre-plan next school year. That's something we've already started working on. Continue work with the LAVEC and continue to review spending to ensure responsible budgeting and expenditures. These are our emergency protocols. It's from the I Love You Guys Foundation. We have great partnerships with Union County Emergency Management as well as Kentucky Center for School Safety. Our fiscal court and Sheriff's Office and Warrenville PD help us to support our SROs. Then, of course, the LAVEC project with Alliance and an HVAC unit that we waited a really long time for it to come in. Number 6, collaborative leadership. It's a result in a broad community engagement with support for and ownership of the district vision. We have lots of great partnerships from a PGP. We have Job Corps. We have homeschool families to establish our virtual school, Braves to College, continuing to grow our CTE pathways, expand them at the high school, and take those lower into the middle school. We had prayer at each one of our board meetings, except this one. I feel like that's a bad omen.
Yeah.
We'll say our prayers at the end. And then worked with regional superintendents regarding school closures. Beyond that, I met with Lauren several times to review our meeting agendas and expectations. All the different K groups, GREC and WKEC, in regards to legislative and political topics. Senate Bill 2. We use Facebook to highlight a lot of our partnerships. We've just recently introduced the Union County Public Schools app as a way to help communication. Middle school started their FFA chapter. The Commissioner of Education toured several of our schools. We made sure that all of our schools obtained the American Healthiest School distinction. Again, working with GREC and ELPO for policy assistance. I met our new county extension agent, Miss Hetty. I worked with Amber Powell at the hospital for our community emergency MOU. Did a couple of trainings with our finance officers, as I feel like that's probably one of my biggest weaknesses. We updated our paperwork for student drug screens, made a visit to the Paducah Innovation Hub with our local industry partners, participated in community service drives, met with our county emergency team during each of our emergencies this year, became a member of the hospital board. We had prayer circles at each of our buildings before school started. We had several community members participate in the 5th grade safety day. We had lots of meetings with Alliance, but specifically I met with Tim Murley regarding the superintendent's role in the project. And again, Lee Baird from County Emergency Management. We've had several meetings about safety, communication, and teamwork, which I appreciate. Upcoming is the strategic plan and the vibrant learning opportunities. I feel like vibrant learning opportunities give our community something to come to see, and something to be proud of for our kids. I plan to continue to be active in our community meetings. And I believe it's going to be in September, we're going to place a state historical marker at the Sturgis High School location. So you'll hear more about that closer to time. So these pictures, see, I have prayer circles, Braves to College, our Job Corps partnership, fiscal court. They not only support us with the SROs, but they also recognize our kids every chance they get. Our kids did several field trips in the community. There's a picture here from the coal mines. We had community members come read to classrooms, do some observations. Dwayne Casey also came with Coach Price. That's just a prime example of how even our alumni are always looking for ways to give back. Standard 7. Last one, influential leadership. It's the larger political, social, economic, legal, ethical, and cultural scene. The goal is to ensure academic success for all students. So from a PGP, we have the K groups and professional memberships, open lines of communication with our local CDW and the county attorney, as well as law enforcement. Work with KSBA to ensure that our policies and procedures align with legislation as it is updated. And also networking with other superintendents. Dr. Fletcher, he called on only my 9th day of being superintendent because we had a tornado. And it just floored me that he took the time to do that. So from that day on, I really thought a lot of him, so much as I had to win literally a foot race to get him to come visit our schools. So he toured 3 of our schools this year. Also attended the Farmers Appreciation Dinner because Jonathan Schell, the Commissioner of Agriculture, was going to be there, and I wanted him to come visit our middle school's new FFA program. He's a big supporter of FFA, and he did do that, come and visit us. We updated lots of policies, kept in contact with our local folks like the county attorney regarding those updated laws and policies. Dr. Fletcher came and toured our schools. Time spent with Dr. Carter, I feel like it made me a better influential leader. We have our GREC and WKEC. There's a superintendent roundtable, so we can all ask questions and hear other people's answers, as well as their board meetings monthly. WKEC also has weekly Zoom calls, which was nice also when I was out to be able to, stay connected with things that were happening. The commissioner also brought the KDE team to one of our new superintendent trainings, so it was nice to connect a face with the name of people that we have to call a lot. I met with Jacqueline Coleman, and other legislators were present at the KASS Fall Summit. We continued our SRO conversations locally and at the state level regarding funding. The Lofton's Law presentation is, they're from Henderson, Lofton Hazelwood, I couldn't think of his name, Hazelwood. Miss Hazelwood comes and presents about Lofton's story from Henderson, went to UK. He passed away as a result of a hazing incident. So through that, they talk through the social side of it as well as the law side of it. It's a really good presentation if you've never heard it. I attended fiscal court at least monthly. I was thankful to attend the Victoria Fellow GT training with Dr. Julia Roberts, who is as famous as Julia Roberts that's in the movies, in the education scene. We attended chamber meetings, KSS annual conference, partnered with Windhill Farms, attended the Law and Finance Conference, established partnerships with our local mayors, and educated staff on Amendment 2 as needed. And upcoming stuff, of course, maintain not only my memberships, but also our district admin memberships as appropriate there. I hope to attend all of KSBA with you all this year. I was only able to stay for that first little bit this time, so hopefully next year I'll be able to stay. And I also would like to intentionally schedule legislative meetings. So, for example, last week when I called every person that I could find a phone number for, I was calling as Terry Hancock, Superintendent of Union County Schools. It would be nice to call and say, hey, it's me, Tara, like we know each other now. but made all those calls recently for Job Corps. From my pictures, I have Jonathan Shell up there in the top couple photos. Commissioner of Education, Dr. Fletcher is in several. Dr. Roberts is there with the Center for Gifted Study. Lofton Law's presentations in the middle. We have community members that donate to buy shirts for every senior. That was the Lieutenant Governor, Jacqueline Coleman. I think it was her second year as Lieutenant Governor. She had a baby. And we went to college together, so we know each other. So we hadn't seen each other for a while, though. So when I come with a great big belly bump, she's like, oh my God. That was her reaction. And somebody caught it on camera. I also have Renee Anderson there, just a national level alumni who still says her favorite football team is the Braves. And I have the cover of Kentucky Living where Tate Nobles won a essay contest and got to travel to DC. So cool. And that is all of the standards. So thank you for listening to all that. Sorry for you all who are just looking at the screen because there's a whole lot of words on every one of those pages. But it has definitely been a year of learning for me, for sure. But I'm very thankful for all the supports that I've had, and I do feel like we've had a successful year. That's all my report, ma'am.
That's all your report? Okay,
Thank you. for the
thank you,
presentation.
yes. I guess,
Could I introduce
Yes,
you to the
absolutely.
other ILP? Matt Matting, Graves County Superintendent. He's been my mentor this year. Anything you want to add in?
Yeah, that'd be fine. Am I okay to stand here?
You're
Do I need to
fine.
go to your podium? or-
You're fine right there.
We were during the board meeting. Well, no, I do appreciate you inviting me to come participate and watch the board meeting. And I've got to work with Tara, going to Dr. Hancock, going all the way back
Tara's
to
fine.
really June was the first time we made contact. And the first year of being a superintendent, I just finished my 6th year, but I remember my first year, it is hard. On a good year, it's hard. And when I look at what Dr. Hancock has dealt with beginning in July, the various strange things that would come up, had a tornado that we had to deal with, we've had a baby in the middle of it. There's a lot of things that popped up that she addressed, and she did that, all of those particular situations, always keeping the students of Union County as her primary focus, trying to make sure that as she's making decisions, she is doing what's best for the employees and students here at Union County Schools. And so I know you've got a lot to be proud of there. You can tell that Graves County, we're not necessarily close. We don't do traditionally a lot of things with Union County, although I do believe we're going to be playing football this fall. So that'll, we got the new rivalry that we can start up there.
That's right.
But from a distance, Union County is a very well-respected school district. That's our take at Graves County. And we know there's a lot of great things happening here. And when I see Dr. Hancock and the way that she's approached her job on a day-in, day-out basis, you can tell she loves this county. You can tell she loves this school system. And I think she's done a phenomenal job in year 1, especially considering the various things that have come her way. And I look forward to continuing to work with her over the rest of her career in this role. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'm Fred Carter. I've been here, I think, for 3 different superintendents. I've been doing this for some time. I'm a retired school superintendent, live in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And you would not be surprised to hear that she has represented you well. She has so much pride in Union County. This is home, and she wants the best for this county. And from my interactions with previous superintendents here, you guys have so much to be thankful for, appreciative of, and proud of. And it's not just a wrestling team. There's a whole lot of good things going on here. But she's had to do a lot of things besides having a baby this year and dealing with problems here with new superintendent training. She's had 10 days out of the district with all the other new superintendents in Kentucky. and there's about 20 this year. There's 25 already for next year, so that number seems to grow every year. But she's had to be out of the district 10 days, but that's only a part of it. That's like the tip of the iceberg. She's also had a lot of virtual training where she sits in her office and we do things from Frankfurt for all the group, or she's had to maybe do it at a later time because it was recorded and she was in the middle of some big project she couldn't get away from, so she's dealt with those. She's also kept an e-portfolio, which is kind of an online deal, and a lot of these things she went over tonight came directly from her e-portfolio, and I would say to you, she probably had to prune a lot of things out, even though this is a lot of material, a lot of support for each of those 7 standards. I guarantee you she had a lot more than those in her e-portfolio that she couldn't include because of how voluminous it was. There's a lot to the new superintendent training. I've been doing this for a lot of years, 14 years, and I've seen 300 plus new superintendents come through, and we've had, I hate to say, we've had 2 failures in that group, so it's not an automatic that you pass new superintendent training, but she has passed with flying colors. We had the ILP team meeting earlier, which involved Mr. Gatton representing the board, Mr. Matting, her mentor superintendent, and myself, and we signed off on the official paperwork to renew her superintendent certification. Because if that's not passed, then that superintendent loses their job because they have to be certified. But she has passed that, we signed off on that, and that goes to KDE, and that renews her superintendent certification. On July 23rd, she'll get her official certificate from the Commissioner of Education in the ceremony in Louisville at the Call House, and move forward. The second year, you're going to see a lot more of her around here because she's not going to be busy with a new baby as busy. She's not going to be out of the district with me for all those days. So you're going to see her here. She's going to have a whole lot more time to go to the district. Plus, second term, even though there's always going to be weird things come up, odd things come up that you couldn't anticipate, she's going to be much better prepared to deal with it because she's dealt with so many things already. So, and plus she's got a really strong cohort of people. That's a tight group. And I can tell you, when you go through training for a year with a group of people, they become your best friends. I can tell you, my new superintendent training was in 2002, and I can name every person who was in that cohort. And I still consider them friends today, although every one of them is retired now. There's not one that's still a superintendent from that group. But again, she's represented you well. It's been a pleasure to work with her. I had the opportunity to come down and spend a full day with her here, and I'm so impressed with what's going on in Union County. And then just the interaction with her through all the trainings and through our virtual meetings. Of course, I attended a virtual board meeting and attended some other things, virtual ILP team meeting earlier and that kind of thing. So it's been a good year, and I'm looking forward. Even though I'm retired, I'm going to keep an eye out for what's happening down here in Union County. I'm going to expect big things because you got a good school board, you got a great superintendent, and working together, you're going to get a whole lot of good things accomplished for the kids here. And if that's not what we're all about, we need to be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
thank you so much.
Let you guys do your
All
deal.
right.
So,
Thanks again.
Thank you.
I'll see
Appreciate
you
it.
on, what, next week in Frankfurt? We got 2 more days, and then she's gonna be a wrap.
Mm.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy your
Nice
time.
seeing you too again.
Yes, sir.
Be safe going home.
Thanks.
All right, so next, I'll need a motion to go into closed session pursuant to KRS 61.810 and KRS 156.577. The preliminary discussions relating to the evaluation of the superintendent.
So moved.
Mr. Gatton made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Clifton made the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go back in open session.
All right. Mr. Clifton made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hagan made the second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? No, there was no action taken in closed session. Number 5 is the summative evaluation of the superintendent. Number 1, strategic leadership, we give you developing. Number 2, instructional leadership, we give you developing. Number 3, cultural leadership, we give you exemplary. Number 4, human resource leadership, we give you accomplished. Number 5, managerial leadership, we give you developing. Number 6, collaborative leadership, we give you accomplished. And number 7, influential leadership, we give you developing. Our overall comment as a board is, as a first-year superintendent, with the obstacles she has had to overcome and with the things she has accomplished on behalf of the Union County School System and the board, she has done an excellent job. You're welcome.
And I'd like to make a motion that Superintendent Dr. Hancock receive a 2% salary increase effective July 1 of this year.
I second.
Mr. Gatton made the motion, Mr. Yarber seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Would you like to say anything?
I really didn't know what I was getting into as far as this evaluation piece of it.
It's a lot, yes.
It is.
Yeah, it is. And, I mean, I think as a person in education, we always think there's room to grow. I don't think we ever, think we're,
And developing wasn't a negative comment.
No,
That was
absolutely not.
just first-year superintendent.
This is your starting
There's a
point.
hey, I
lot.
think growth required, that's like, you need to get your act together.
This is your starting point. We had to have a
Yes,
starting
so
point.
I feel good about it, thank you.
Good deal. All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Mr. Hagan made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Clifton seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried.